Good day. Are you here for the rally?
Yep.
I'm an independent. I wouldn't even call myself a YouTuber. I made a channel last night because I wanted to come down to Australia and talk to some people. I read some stuff online. They're saying there's neo-Nazis and stuff everywhere. I haven't seen anyone. So would you mind answering some questions? Pretty straightforward questions. The first question is, why are you here? At this rally, I mean.
At this rally, yeah. Just to show support for wanting the government to cut down dramatically on the 800,000 or so migrants or immigrants that are allowed to come into Australia every year. It's just too many. And this is why Australians can't afford to buy a house. Our kids can't afford to buy a house, and our kids' will never be able to afford to buy a house. So they're just being, with a lot of economic people coming for a better economy here in Australia from other countries. They're not refugees, they just want a better economy. So they're coming from lots of Asian countries, and I'm sure they're really nice people and good people, and most of them are, there's no doubt about it. The majority of immigrants are really lovely. But we as Australians cannot afford to provide the housing. We don't have it. We haven't got the healthcare. And so these people are becoming Australians, and they can immediately use all of the free healthcare and all of the facilities that Australia has to offer. And Australians are being left out. It's really hard now. If you're a 20-something or a 30-something and you're trying to buy a house, it's virtually impossible. Every 20-something or 30-something that I know who are really good people, who have done everything right, who work really hard, are struggling just to pay their bills. Saving for a deposit for a house is almost impossible. And they're already cutting back on how much meat they can buy, on their holidays, on everything that they can do. These are frugal people. The average Australian is a frugal, the average person trying to get ahead, they can't get ahead. So you're either lucky and you've got parents who can help you get ahead, and if you don't have that, you're almost going to be completely blocked out of the housing market until you're about 40. And even then it's going to be maybe a small unit, something like that.
Yeah, I agree. What do you hope the outcomes of this rally will be?
I'm not sure. It's really tough when you have people like Brad Batten, who is the opposition leader here in Victoria, the Liberal leader, who would be looking for some leadership, saying on social media a couple of days ago that this is some sort of a racist rally and an anti-Indian rally. It couldn't be anything further from the truth. There's nobody here that's racist. We're just saying to the government, stop bringing in so many immigrants. But unfortunately at the moment we have a Labor government, and the Labor government knows that 80 to 90% of the immigrants that they are bringing in will vote Labor. So that is why they're bringing in all of these immigrants. They want to make sure that Labor remains in power for the next few decades, and they don't care what it's doing to undermine society and the culture and the quality of life of Australians. And here in Victoria, where we have a Labor Victorian government, you can see that they've gone to parts of Victoria that always vote Liberal, like Brighton and like Armidale, and they're putting in high rises there with small units in there. The reason for that is that all of the immigrants who are desperately seeking somewhere to live, as are young Australians, they will go and buy these small apartments in these places, and that will change the voting in those areas, because they want to change them from being always the Liberal candidate winning to either become a swing seat or to become a Labor seat. So this is what they're doing. It's called social engineering, and it's part of their plan.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm an immigrant myself. I've been here for 20 years. I used to be a Labor voter as well, Labor and Greens voter. I'm no longer a Labor and Greens voter. So a lot of what you're saying makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Well, and the Greens and the Teals, don't be fooled. The Greens used to be green here in Australia. They're not anymore. The Greens and the Teals are really working for the Labor Department, Labor as well, and this is what they're doing even in council elections, where they're getting other people to stand for council so that they can give their preferences back to the one person that they want. And this is what's happening now when people are running as a Liberal candidate or a Labor candidate. They'll have other people running as well, just to give those preferences back to the certain candidate they want. So everything's being really rigged, and unfortunately a lot of people are not aware of what's happening. So it's terribly unfortunate.
I think majority of people are not aware, me including as well, so this has been enlightening.
Yeah, yeah.
One more question. How do you think the media has portrayed this rally so far?
I think that the media are trying to make out that it's some sort of a racist rally, which it's not. And I was really pleased to see the police, the head of police the other day, when the media was trying to encourage him to say that this rally should not go ahead, saying no, people have the right to protest as long as it's a peaceful protest. So he wasn't going to buy into what the media were trying to encourage him to do. So it's really good to see. And the police have been lovely. Look, the police have been wonderful. They're clearly allowing people to protest peacefully, and there's no problems. And I know that in other areas they're making sure that there are people turning up, the Palestinians, or people trying to make out that this is a racist rally, and the police are making sure that those people don't get close to the people who are being very peaceful.
I think that's great. Honestly, myself, I was trying to figure out what this rally was last night, and the only information I could find is it's all neo-Nazis and extremists, and I'm an immigrant. I was a bit afraid to come here, and I spoke to a few of my friends who said they're not coming here because they're afraid. So I think that worked, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and I think that was intentional, that people were saying that there was going to be all this trouble to make good people, but there probably would have been a lot more people who attended because people are really worried about their kids and their grandkids, and the cost of living and the affordability. It's really changing people's lives now in Australia. People can't get married when they want to, they can't have kids when they want to, they're just struggling to be able to support themselves. People are having smaller families. Life is just so tough, and that's what this rally is about. It's about please stop the immigration, because we just can't afford to support the rest of the world. Australia's got 28 million people. There's 8 billion people in the world. And I'm sure that about 6 billion of those people would love to come and live in Australia because of our quality of life and our fresh air and our great oceans. But we can't take those people in. And the Australians who are working and paying their taxes can't afford to support those people. Simple as that.
I agree. If I'm inviting 2 people to my house, that's great. If I invite 2,000 people to my house, it'll be a mess. It's just not going to work. One final question, and normal question. You've been fantastic. If you have any sort of takeaway that you want anyone watching this video later to hear, what would that be, or any message rather?
Look, I think just stay engaged. I think get onto X if you don't have it already downloaded on your phone, and make sure that you follow people like Craig Kelly. He's had to leave the Liberal Party, and Jared Rennick, he left the Liberal Party as well. And look, Pauline Hanson and Malcolm Roberts, they're up in Canberra today. They're marching at the Canberra rally. So there's so few politicians who are standing up for this. And I think the most important thing for people to do is to vote for those independent candidates. So you've got to really start listening to, I know Pauline Hanson, sometimes people are dubious about her, but listen to what she says, listen to Craig Kelly, listen to Jared Rennick, and just listen to these independents. They're out there really trying hard to fight for us, and they need our support. And if you want to look after your children, if you want to look after your grandchildren, if you want to look after the future of Australia, you must start to get engaged and start to listen to some of these people.
Thank you so much for your time.
That's okay.
Thanks.